brothers and sisters. May colleague ko rin ako parang si Father Frank. Kaya lang nasa IT kasi ako, so mas high-tech yun sa ni papel. Kasi paperless. When Francis called me up, he asked me to give a sharing dito sa LingkodAlumni. Kinabahan ako kasi sabi ko, patay, bakit mag-sharing? Sabi niya. And then he emailed, sabi niya, yung mga ang kanyang guidelines. Sabi niya, how are you living? You're being radical. Sabi ko, naku po, radical? Saka ako pa pili ni Francis. Sabi ko nga, Francis, I texted him. I told him, Francis, ano ba ito? Backslider edition ba ito? I no longer am part of any community. After my service in Lingkod in 2006, I attempted to attend siguro konting sessions, foundations course with Ligaya, and then a few yung sa women's group namin, few meetings. But I really found it difficult because of my circumstances in life. I chose not to be part of community, of any community, because of physically it's impossible for me in my schedules. Why? Because I am a caregiver. Hindi po ako caregiver na nurse. I'm a personal caregiver to my mother. So doon nag-aano yung schedule ko. And since then, I have not been part of any community. Kaya kinabahan ako nung sabi ni Francis, how am I living? How am I continuing my radical way of life? And kasi I know a lot of my mga dati kong kabatch, looking at you now, sabi ko, naku po, you are leading, a lot of yung mga kabatch ko are leading men's and women's groups and they have very good services. Sabi ko, I'm not as pastorally proficient as ano. So I'm before you, ito, isang spiritual simpleton. So simple-simple, payak na rin yung service ko as, so ano na lang ba ako since then? Well, one, I'm still Liza Aguila. Aguila pa rin po ako. I'm still single. I'm living my life in single blessedness. And I'm trying to enjoy, number one, single by circumstance, check. Single by choice, check. What? I would like to say, kaya yung single blessedness, natutunan ko na rin over the years at natanggap ko na nag-intersect na din pala yung by circumstance and by choice ko. And now, naiintindihan ko na kung bakit more than single by circumstance and single by choice, it's single blessedness. Kasi nag-intersect na sila at, and I went through an awakening and an understanding of that. And pangalawa, I am a steward of what I have. Steward sa bahay, kasi ako naman ang namamahala sa, yun ang group ko, yung maliit na group namin sa bahay. Sino-sino yung mga nandun? Ako at saka yung mga nag-aalaga sa nanay ko, and yung nag-aalaga ng bahay namin. So yun, so what I do, na payak nga lang, it's just, syempre, wala nang sila magagawa, no? Pag magdadasal kayo, pilit na pilit. So hanggang masanay na lang sila. And, but it has, may challenges din ako because the best nurse that my mother had sa night shift is Iglesia ni Cristo. And the best one was reliever pag naka-bakasyon ng Sunday is Jehovah's Witness. So, may United International Church. At saka, nagkaroon kami ng isang driver na dating daan. Kaya lang, sorry sila, ako may-ari ng bahay. So, ang prayer namin, kahit paikot kami maglilid, sorry sila. Kasi, lingkod yung namin. But, kasi hindi ako preacher. I'm not a preacher. That's not my gift. Ang gift ko talaga is the gift of service. So, doon ako gumabaw because that's how I serve God, and that's how I think others can see Christ in me. Which leads me to my third, kung ano ako ngayon. As I'm still a professional, empleyado pa rin ako, and but right now I just transferred to a new company. It's a startup company, but my boss is it's a startup company that's Hong Kong listed, although it's based in the Philippines. But my boss is foreign. All our investors are foreigners, and so United Nations naman ngayon yung. Hindi siya United Nations. Tawag ko lang sa kanya United Nations because when I go to work, more than half of them are Danish. My boss is Canadian, his wife is Taiwanese, and some of my office mates who are not in the Philippines are UK, Dutch, merong Norwegian, and then we have mga US, so a lot of them are Europeans. And my boss is agnostic, his wife Taiwanese is Buddhist. So isipin nyo na lang yung halo-halo na naman yung kinabibilangan kong environment. But one thing that I've learned in Lingkod, and I hope I'm living it well, is kasi sa Lingkod, professional work is a service. Yun yung natutunan ko doon. And to do your work well, pakita mo talaga. So yun yung inaano ko I try as much as possible to show how good a worker I am, to be dedicated in my work. And yung service ko to my boss is to really be dedicated in my work. And service to my office mates is to help in their development also and in their success. And one thing, and siguro yung fourth kung ano ako ngayon is, as I mentioned, as a caregiver. And that is my greatest role right now. It's my greatest service. It's also my greatest cross. But at the same time, it's my greatest blessing. Earlier, I called Francis, because sabi ko, I might be very late because early this morning, I took my mother to the emergency room. Again, this is something that I've been used to over the years. Balik-balik sa emergency room because my mother has increasingly deteriorated and has increasingly been dependent. So patong-patong na yung illnesses niya until she is now almost in a vegetative state. So she has no more speech. She's half blind and then half deaf. And then she cannot even also turn on her own. So talagang completely, yung care namin sa kanya is 24 hours. And so that to me, I went through a very dark period where I had also to learn to accept that first, my mother is my cross, but at the same time, to come out of that and to realize that she is my greatest blessing because marami that at that state, that's where I learned a lot of things. Yung Father Frank earlier mentioned about dark joy. In my service to my mother, I learned about joy in sorrow. And what I really am thankful for Lingkod is number one, yung pinaka-importante is the value of prayer. Siguro kung hindi ako naturuan ng Lingkod about daily prayer time, that would really have been a struggle for me. Because my greatest weakness is me. When my mother was was still very strong, I remember, sinabi niya yan, because she knows me very well. Do not be the most powerful person, even in your immediate circle, kasi that will be the end of you. Kasi my greatest downfall is pride. When I have successes, isipin ko ako yan. It's because of my abilities. And when I have failures, isipin ko I can get out of that because kaya ko yon. And without prayer time, I would have been continuously, yung pa rin yung greatest folly ko is my pride. And that's why malaking bagay sa akin about daily prayer time. And number two is the value of community. Right now, I don't have a religious community. The community where I am now is my United Nations community. But every day in that community, they take turns because they know that I have difficulty with my spine, and then I went through surgery. So every day, palit-palit sila, they take turns when I say that I'm about to leave the office, meron dyan lagi, just to bring all my things up to my car. And then my boss and his wife, they even accompany me to my checkups with my surgeon, and they try to understand pa what the MRI is about. And sometimes his wife, even asks me if I want to talk about it, and then they also visit my mother in the house. So when I mentioned that, parang walang nabago, para rin akong nasa lingkod. The only difference is they are not, some of them are not Christians, and yung ibang Christians then are not even Catholic. So ako, in what I do is just try to live out. Kasi ang hirap sa kanila mag-preach. It's something that they will not be very receptive to. Because parang ano sa kanila yan. Even my boss insists, when he came here, he had to look for a Buddhist school. Just so his two eldest children will go there. So, ang sa akin na lang, ang naturo sa akin ng lingkod is, what is your gift? If it's a gift of service, serve them and serve them well. Kasi just try that this is how you will reflect Christ. And I'm thankful to Lingkod for that. And I'm thankful to God for continuously not leaving me, even though dun sa many times that I have found it difficult even to be with Him. And that's why I'm continuously always thankful because even without a community, the friends that I have, mag-name drop na ako, are like Riza, is para meron ka ng co-discerner, para kang may SD. So, kasi yun kami. So, I'm very, very blessed to have the kind of support that I have. That's why, even through all those years that I'm without community, thankful ako. I thank God, and most of all, I thank the Lord for not leaving me.
Thank you, Eliza. O baka sabihin nyo kasi puro single yung mga nag-share, no? So tawagan natin yung mag-asawa, si Jeric at saka si Yaya. May podi ko rin kami. Tiga-IT ako siya today. So, anyway. Good evening. My name is Jeric and she's my wife, Yaya. I work for HP. She works for Citibank. So, we met in Lingkod. So, 18 years ago, I was invited by my office mate. And Yaya continued after CIA. Okay? Alumni homecoming like this is very memorable for us because during our time, it was in this project that we really got close when we served as service leaders. After years of praying together, serving together in IPT, in outreach, countless fellowship nights, we have fell in love and got married, of course, following our courtship pattern.
Oh, may courtship pattern. Okay. After much discernment and weeks of marriage preparation, we got married in 2001. Early on in our married life, we have learned that raising a family is not a bed of roses. We would like to share with you our experiences after Lingkod. And hopefully, hindi naman ma-discourage yung mga singles, sisters and brothers natin. Hindi naman palaging ganito ang nangyayari. At saka masaya rin. Masaya. Masaya. Actually, pwede rin namang bed of roses. May mga tinik lang. firstborn, it started with when I gave birth to my firstborn. He got sick of pneumonia and something that I until now don't understand about his intestine that he almost got operated on. And with God's grace, we're able to pull that through. Then on my second son came 3 years after. Everything went well, but after his first birthday, he was diagnosed with a rare disease. It's a Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. It's a rare seizure disorder, disorder that affects global development. So that was our life after Lingkod. We had to go through regular treatments, medications, and therapies because of this illness.
Right. Soon after we had our third son in 2006, siguro because of stress that we had gone through both emotional and physical, Yayet had premature labor on her 24th week. She had to be on bed rest for almost a month in the hospital and was isolated in the labor room for a week. That was in December and January. Kaya doon na kami nag-Christmas, nag-New Year's Eve, New Year celebration, wedding anniversary, celebration ng birthday niya. Kasi yung water bag niya broke already. That's why her legs were elevated all the time to prevent further leakage. She was like that for about 4 weeks. On her 27th week, she gave birth to our third son. He was born premature, but thank God he was safe. Makulit siya ngayon at malaki. Parang hindi premature, sabi niya. We haven't recovered yet from all the stress when we encountered another trial. After a few months from giving birth, Yayet dislocated her right knee. This is probably because her muscles were deconditioned severely because of prolonged inactivity. So nagtatawanan na nga kaming dalawa ni Yayet sa emergency room. Kasi hindi kami makapaniwala dahil hindi pa nga kami tapos isa, meron na naman panibagong problema. Susunod-sunod, yung biruan namin ni Yayet, baka gusto kaming gawing saints ni Lord. Saint Jeric and Saint Yayet. Ang hindi magandang pakinggan. So for several years, that has been our life. Weekends were reserved for hospital trips for our two sons and for Yayet. Akala ng mga bata, ang hospital yung parang malls.
Akala nila pasyalan talaga yun. We thought that our situation can't be worse than it was already. Ano pa kasi naman yung pwedeng mangyari, di ba? So, sunod-sunod nga yun. We had that hope and prayed that it would be better. But after 4 years of medications and therapies in and out of ICU, our second son was called to home by his creator. He was confined in the hospital due to pneumonia. He was actually due to be discharged already at that night. I vividly remember that night. But he had a severe seizure attack, and he did not survive. He literally died in my arms. Nanonood ba kayo ng ER sa TV? It's really like that. Ganun pala yun. So, daming mga doctors, daming mga machines, and everything is like swirling around you. That was the biggest blow of our lives. At the time, we could not understand God. Why did we have to take our baby very soon? But indeed, His ways are not our ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are His ways higher than our ways. His thoughts, not our thoughts. But you see, brothers and sisters, all throughout these years, in our highest and lowest points, the Lord has never been far from us. In fact, we felt that we were His favorites. Parang apple of His eyes ba? Kasi palagi na lang nakatitig sa amin. Palagi na lang may nangyayari, di ba? Parang sabi ko, Lord, sobrang ng favorite. Iba naman. Joke lang. Gusto namin maging favorite. Biro lang, Lord. We believe that He knew from the start what Jerry and I will go through as a couple. That's why He prepared us even while we are still in Lingkod. How Lingkod has built up our faith, helped us to stand our ground when we were attacked by hopelessness, and grief. Some people actually told us that the weight of what had happened to us could have either broken or strengthened our relationship. Ganun daw yung nangyayari. Bumibigay daw yung mga mag-asawa at magkakahiwalay more often than not. Mabuti na lang nung nasa lingkod kami, nakikinig kami sa teaching. That's why may prayer time kami, may one-on-one kami, at mabuti na lang nag-discern kami ng mabuti before kami get married. So we were backed up by the Lord when we made that decision to choose who is the right partner for us. Diba? Parang hindi. Wala to scripto, but I'd like to honor the Lord for giving my spouse, my husband. Wala to scripto. I rarely do this. Pero you know how hard it was for my husband to care for my kids and for me. He had to take me to my office, to the floor, up to my desk, and pick me up from there because I could not walk properly. And then siya yung, sweet. Tapos yung brothers and sisters, yung mga anak ko din, palagi siya yung nagdadala sa hospital because I could not walk properly. So, buti na lang, Lord, niliwanagan mo ang pag-iisip ko nung nag-babyson ako. I thank the Lord for that.
Salamat. Additional allowance. Yeah. In the same month that our second son died, ligaya ng Panginoon invited us to be covenanted. Parang naisip nga namin ni Yeye, teka, nagluluksa pa kami. Parang naisip ko noon, Lord, we were not even close to overcoming our grief. Why are you asking this now? Yeye and I prayed over it and have seriously discussed it. Being a covenanted member entails dying to oneself. It is a call to discipleship, and it has a cost. Do we abandon now our call to discipleship, or at least delay it until we feel that we are ready? We have all the reasons to decline. We are very sure that the community will understand. But then again, we went back to our vision of our family. Nung kasing kinasal kami ni Yeye, we had talked about our vision for our family. We are resolved to bring our household to heaven. Kahit hindi na santo, but together, feasting in God's banquet with His angels. In order to do that, we will need an environment where we can flourish, where there are other people with the same vision, people who can help us in our journey. We believe that we have been called by the Lord to live in a community. In 2008, we accepted the invitation to become covenanted members of the Gaya ng Panginoon.
Brothers and sisters, we experience challenges even while we are in Lingkod. Life after Lingkod is not void of challenges too. Maybe different in some ways because we have different state of life. Like Chris shared a while ago, his sister Liza shared his own state of life, and us too. We have different challenges. And us as a married life, but in particular kami ni Jerry, we continue to encounter trials in the area of relationships, in raising children, area of finances, and of our work, and in the area of health. As you can see, I'm not still restored to full health. I still cannot walk properly. Na-restore lang yung beauty, pero yung hindi pa rin makalakad. Masyado kayong serious. We still feel pain when we remember the loss of our child. I thought I would not stop and I could just read through my sharing lang about him a while ago. Pero, it would not go. Well, I don't think it will. We still have financial debts to pay. Both Jerry and I about Jeric and my third son before had an appendectomy. So still health reasons still plague the health problems still plague our family. But we pressed on. And it's a constant decision. It's not easy. I know you know, it's not easy, but it's a constant decision. The call to discipleship does not change after you leave Lingkod and move on to another state of life, whether in a community like us or not, like Liza. And discipleship has a cost. It costs our time, our energy, our money, and ourselves. We continue to serve in the community, in places we are called by the leaders. Kasi kung iniisip ko kasi, kung hintayin ko pag gumaling akong todo-todo before I serve, naku Lord, baka tawagin na ako ni Lord na ako makapag-serve, di ba? So, we decided, let's start now, whatever we can do. And we felt that we were called to serve the youth in our district. So we are now serving the youth of our district in JYA. We submit to the way of life because we embrace it to be our calling. We give tithes. We struggle, but we give tithes. Baka dito leader ko, tinignan ko eh. Andito si Mel Mark, eh. Baka i-check ang record. So check yan, We raise our children in the best way that we can. We sometimes falter in our commitments, but we pick ourselves up again with the help of you, brothers and sisters.
In ending, brothers and sisters, we would like to exhort you to continue the fight, the good fight of faith, not to be weary, but continue to persevere our faith. We would like to share with you a passage that particularly encourages us to press on, from Hebrews chapter 12. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great clouds of witnesses, let us rid ourselves of every burden and sin that clings to us. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, while fixing our eyes on Jesus, the leader and perfecter of our faith. Brothers and sisters, may we be the clouds of witnesses to one another, cheering each other to finish the race of faith. It's an honor for Yaya tonight to run with you side by side towards our God. Happy anniversary. It's advanced.
Palapang natin yung mga nag-share, brothers and sisters. Very inspiring, di ba? After all of these years. Let's stand and sing a song.
Forever.